Ladies and gentlemen, lovers of war, traders of great renown, I, the Strategic Indian, bid you welcome to my channel, where our motto is think, practice thinking. If you like the content, please do not forget to like and subscribe. Also, leave a comment, which will greatly help with the almighty YouTube algorithm. Wars are expensive. Total wars are totally expensive. Therefore, if you would like to, then you can support my armies and cities via coffee or directly through PayPal. Links are in the description below. Other than a one-time donation, those entering the monthly membership tiers can have my Heaven Shaker armies named after themselves and watch with pride as they blaze their way to glory. For the city builder in you, whole cities can be named after you, which will last the test of time herself. Thanks in advance for any and all support. Now, on with the show. So, welcome back to another episode of Dawn of Man. We are continuing to build our first fully planned city on the hardest difficulty that is out there in the vanilla game. And this is the Ancient Warriors scenario, whereby we have entered the Bronze Age and now we have begun to dominate on this age itself. So we have got blizzard going on. So of course the golden rule of Dawn of Man is always to ring the bell for a sweet hot second, and also whenever there is a blizzard you want to hit the bell every 2 or 3 minutes, because you want to make sure that everybody is coming in, and you also want to make sure that those who are a bit far out, that they are run back to the settlement. We built up quite quickly a few houses, which gives us some population space. I noticed quite late that the houses were not yet built, and that's why we weren't getting that many immigrants. So I went ahead and built some houses, and also I noticed that certain buildings were placed wrong. So here you can see that I have put in the order for them to be rebuilt. They got moved by 1 square, and then nothing can move by a square because you have actually this is close packing, so everything fits to the absolute bare minimum. We have got 7 stone, therefore I'm going to put in an order for 2 roundhouses because that's what I can build with that amount. And I'm going to start now asking them to get all the stone in. I don't get the stones in an earlier age because I don't need it in an earlier age. So if I don't need it, then I don't get it. Every workload that you are putting on them unnecessarily is actually contributing to the death of your colony. So you really don't want to put in anything without an excuse. So since our food situation had become a bit critical in the beginning of the previous episode, we noticed that we were in a 1-to-1 food to population ratio. So that's not good. You want to hit a 3-to-1 because every citizen is eating 3 food per year, even if it's a child. Doesn't matter what kind of food, so they don't care about variety and mixing and a balanced diet, but they do want 3 units of food, whatever be it, go into their bellies every year. So we were really very close to the danger zone. So now I'm building up this fruit orchards, and we had collected 80 fruits in the previous one. Then we went to 160 fruits, and we want to just build up as we continue on. And in the previous episode I had clearly said why fruit trees are the best thing. They are really a secret weapon of prehistory. You really want to go and make a bunch of these fruit trees. That's what we are doing. Since I'm playing at the slowest speed right now, therefore I am mindful that I will have to ring the bell. So there I go, I bring the bell again, and now I go in and check all those people with the red icon above their heads to see what their situation is, because it can be that I have rung the bell, they are cold but they are safe, they have more than half their life left. But that is, say for example, Zamek right now, I am running him back because his food situation is completely zero, he's under hypothermia already, so I run him back and therefore save his life. Similarly for Arad, we have to make sure that he runs back in, and Quran has also got to run back in. So even if you press the bell, once you press the bell, they begin to run, depending on whether they have stamina or not. If they are very low stats because of lack of food, lack of clothing, they are cold, then they don't run. And therefore, once you stop ringing the bell, they actually start walking back. But walking back ain't good enough, because they will be dead by the time they will be back into the colony. So we have a second raid for the Bronze Age coming in. Again, this is from the far end of the river, and that is perfect. We want the most number of raids to come in from that direction, because then they have a problem of crossing this river, and that is ideal for us because we will be taking pot shots. As you can see, here we go, we have begun to fire. They are going around, they are trying to break down the wall. Let's see if they are successful in that. So they are bashing on our wall, and we are sending out murderous fire downrange. We have quite a lot. Okay, so they have broken in, and they are in, but there are, that also is just death waiting for them. So our boys are celebrating. Here we go. We have almost everybody with copper tools, and in this age we're going to get rid of copper tools, and we are going to go for bronze tools and bronze weapons. Let's always remember to open up the gates after the fight, because if all the gates are closed and say you forget, then you have the issue that they are going to die inside, because they have, of course, food and water inside. They have wells, but they need to go out for other things, and therefore if they don't have access to resources, they can actually die out. People who are outside won't be able to get inside your colony. So always remember to turn once the alarm is off, to make sure that all the doors are closed. Also, if you close doors strategically on the path where they are coming in to attack you, and you forget to open those doors, then they will have to go around the whole colony to get to whatever jobs they want to do, like planting or eating or drinking, and therefore you are going to waste time, and that is terrible. And if you have to do critical things like planting, you would be hard pressed to complete that. I am now going to start putting transposts around the entire colony, because I saw that for the first time our walls got broken. So the way to stop them from attacking the walls is to make it impossible for them to come into melee with the wall. So the best way to do that is to put up transport posts. Because they don't break down transport posts. You can also put totems or skull poles or flags, which they also don't break down, right in front of every wall section that you have. But those are far more resource intensive. So for example, if you want to put up a totem, that's one whole log, there is sticks required, dry skin, bones, and then you would cover a 1x1 wall section. What you want to do is put up transposts, which costs quite less. It costs few sticks and few logs, and then you cover 2 to 1 of the 2 sections of the wall in one. Here I'm checking the number of adult domestic animals I have, especially donkeys, horses and cows, and then I will be able to add up how many I have, and then provide an equal number of carts and plows, so that those animals are not sitting idle, and we are utilizing all of our resources. It's only resource management which is the point of this game. For the transposed, way we do it, we leave one hole right after where the walls are, because we'll put a nice little beautiful totem over there just for beauty. And then we put in 2 totem posts, leave one for another, put in 2 transposts, then leave one for a totem pole, and then so on and so forth. Unless in the corners, then there are often not enough spaces, but in the places where you actually have spaces, which we will get to, these sectors are a bit iffy because the land is undulating at this part and you cannot close off this entire thing. So also over here it's very difficult to put up transposts. So here we are going to double wall because we cannot prevent them from coming into melee using this trick, because there is no transpose to be placed. Now here, check this out. 2 transposts, leave a gap, 2 transposts, and then an automatic gap will be left, and all these 3 gaps are going to come in for the totem poles. So we'll beautifully have totem poles on the outside of our colony. Totem poles are flags. I still haven't decided which ones we want to put in, and that is how this is going to protect our colony. In the last section, you want to put in 3 totem posts and then leave a gap, and so on and so forth. So 1 gap, 3 transposts, and then 1 totem pole, and then 3 transposts again. Then you have this complete coverage which we are going to get. This sector, again, it's a bit difficult because land is undulating, so we try to fit in as many as possible. This is not a hard and fast rule. The trick is that what are the least amount of resources I can spend to protect my walls. There have been posts where people say, why don't we double wall? So if you want to double wall, let's do that thought experiment. So double walling does not prevent them from coming into melee with your first wall, so they can break that wall down. And it takes a long time to get to stone walls, and it takes a lot of labor to build up a stone reserve, which we are doing so late when we are in the Bronze Age. We have not done it in the earlier ages because that took way too much time and resources than we want to put in. Now what you have to do is this entire huge Ozymandian Kingdom, you have to wrap it around with stone walls, which takes a lot of effort to one, mine the stone, then you pick up the stone, and then you have to go and place and build that wall. So an easier way would be, instead of double walling, you want to put a single wall in, then the outer wall you want to put in stone walls. And then once that stone wall is done, then the inner wall is the one that you want to build up into stone walls by upgrading them. This way you are never having a gap in your kingdom, and therefore there is no place where they can exploit and try to enter your colony through a hole. You always want to make sure that your entire colony is constantly walled. Each and every section is walled up. There are no holes, and say you never come into a position where you try to build a wall section up by trying to upgrade it or trying to build a new wall section, then there is a hole over there, and that's your weak point. And if a raid comes over there, then it's GG. That's what you don't want to do. Now, in this Bronze Age, we have got plows, so that's let's go and look at plows. So let's talk a little bit about these plows. I did say that I don't like plows, but okay, I like plows. The reason I don't like plows is before plows, goats were the most efficient animal and the best animal to have, and now cows are the best animal, and I really like goats, so that's the only reason I said I don't like plows. Once you have plows, that's very special, because one person, as soon as they have time, they are going to go to the plow, and then they are going to plow 5 units of plot area at one go. unless somebody comes and starts plowing right in front of them, which you don't want. That's why you want to have enough plows so that people don't plant themselves, and you plant everything through plows. Once they begin plowing, then they are going to complete 5 in a row. You don't want them to do 1 or 2 plot areas, therefore you want to put down clear 5 by 5 areas of farms. You also do not want that people are coming in and starting to plow. So you don't want a mixture of people plowing by hand and people plowing with the plows. Now, another thing that you want to look out for is that horses plow faster than cows. So horses which are pulling the plows are going to help you plant faster than cows pulling plows. What is the biggest advantage of plowing over plowing by hand? Once you get to plows, why do you want to do this transition? What is the point of this transition? We were planting quite well with our hands. Reason is, plowing by hand is the most inefficient and most morale sapping activity in this whole game. So once they are plowing by hand, they lose quite a lot of morale, and therefore they need to go back and recover their morale, which is all time that you are basically wasting. You don't want them to go and mope around and be sad that, oh, my life is ruined, I had to plant by hand, my life is terrible. That's what you don't want. You want them to go out, and once they're plowing with plows, it doesn't matter if it's getting pulled by a horse or a cow, more or less the speed is the same. I use cows, preferably bulls, because the cows, once they are hitched to the plows, then they don't produce any resources. They also don't require any food or shelter, so that's good, but they don't produce these copious amounts of milk which they are actually good enough to do. Therefore, you want to make sure that you have enough bulls in your colony, and then those bulls are not sitting and eating hay during the winter, and then they are hitched to these plows and going out and working. They are still able to reproduce even if they are hitched with the plows, and they don't need to go back into the stables to reproduce, and they are able to reproduce even if they are hitched to the plows in the winter while the cows are inside the stables. We have got enough enough skins and tannin. Therefore, we will have quite a lot of leather which can be processed and made into raw skin can be made into leather. This wolf was really bothering us. I'm not even going to harvest it to just insult it, I think. Yeah. Wolves are going to be the only thing which are the predators which are left in the Bronze Age, because as we saw in the previous ages, they were all the other predatory animals are now extinct, which is just sweet music to my ears. Our workload went up quite a lot in this season because we have quite a lot of trees to be chopped, and this is what is preventing our harvesting from our planting from happening. Therefore, I go into the task panel by hitting the number 5. So make sure you always go and hit the task panel once you have a little bit of time. So Bronze Age is a time when you have quite a lot of time in your hands. Iron Age, again, you don't have a lot of time in your hands because you will be juggling a lot of balls in that particular stage. And also remember that in the Iron Age you will have the strongest attacks coming in, so then we would really have to be on the ball to be able to dominate, which we shall be, so don't need to worry about it. Beautiful adult bear got killed off, so that's nice. This one I will chop up and harvest. I really love these tails of these bears. They're really cute. The bears of these deer are really stubby little tails. They're very beautiful. I'm going to throw across bridges across this river at strategic points so that I can go and so that first bridge out there was for the wood. I can begin to get the wood from there. This particular bridge is to get to the tin mine, which is right in front of it. This bridge shall be for the copper mine, and then we won't build any bridges over here, and then we're going to pull back all the way. There is a tin mine right there, so we are going to build another bridge right here, and you want to angle the bridges towards your colony so that the people who are coming from your colony are going to be able to get on the bridges and move towards the tin mine or copper mine or whatever mine, and then once the job is done, then they are going to go back always towards your colony. So this is how you save walk distances. Little bits of walk distances are going to be the difference between victory or death in this game. So make sure you keep your walk distances low. There are enough storage for your items, and you have enough production buildings. The storage buildings are near to the production buildings. So that is how we are going to ensure that we have got the most optimal setup. We are going to chop up some trees, because 134 logs that I have and 100-ish sticks that I have are going to just evaporate very, very quickly in this age. We are constantly getting a lot of notifications for low harvesting tools, so that is really going to get on my nerves. So apologize for that, because yeah, there is no way to turn those sounds off, and they are very jarring. I hope that I wish that this was not such a jarring sound. It's really very, very breaks the immersion quite a lot. Trader has come in, so I have chosen some trees to be chopped, and here I am watching the grain harvest go on. So let's just give the order for the trees to be chopped. Let's find out what the trader has brought for us. Great, this is very nice. We'll get all the tin ores, we'll get the tech for armorer. So this is going to be a very expensive purchase, but yeah, we'll have to do it. And also the commission is high, so we have to pay 50% commission. It's not ideal, but yeah, we really built up this Ozymandian Kingdom as a production powerhouse, and that's what we are going to do. What are we buying? We are buying time. Essentially, what we are buying is the most important resource, and that is time. We are making sure that within this given amount of time, we are the most powerful and we are able to protect all of our citizens. The cost was 879, and then it was very easily paid, and we are going to get rid of copper. We are going to get rid of copper tools. Anything obsolescence are going to be taken out. A vast majority of our wood and sticks are going to be consumed by all of these transposts being built. So yeah, we will have to go and get more logs. You can see we were at 134, we are down to 86. So we used up 50 logs as is. So yeah, let's build up a few more fruit trees. So wherever we see a gap, we are going to put it in fruit trees, and that is going to ensure that our food to population ratio is quite high, and we can go back to getting a lot of migrants again in our system. In the previous episode, we noticed that we had attracted only one person in when migrants came in, so that's the worst. We want to attract far more migrants. And that was because we didn't have enough housing free. So we were already at a population of 195, and we had population space for 200. Okay, nice bunch of aurochs has come forward. So we are going to go up and collect all of these baby aurochs. And we'll also hunt the adults because they are quite nearby to our colony. So there is no point giving up on this one. We are going to catch up a few hunters. So what you want to do is press down H, you want to press H, and then it is going to, and then make a box around your citizens, and those with hunting tools shall be the ones which are selected. So we are very capable hunters at this stage. We have got bows, we have got bronze spears. So these Aurochs unfortunately don't have a chance. They are going to get slaughtered or tamed down to the last animal. So they really don't stand a chance at this stage. I really feel bad to go out and attack these Aurochs and butcher them in front of their children. But as you can see, we have captured all of those Auroch babies and those calves, and then we have also killed off all of the adders. So this entire herd has been completely destroyed, which means that I will have a fresh herd of Aurochs which are now going to spawn somewhere on the map, and I'm pretty sure some of them will come near our settlement, and then we are going to be able to go and butcher them or capture them for our personal needs. Always make sure you put down whatever off-season crop you have, so that you can get rid of these Gaia trees from growing inside your colony. Now you can see how nicely the Ozymandian Kingdom is coming across. All of this is built up. The central sector is going to be for religious buildings, and those are going to be built absolutely towards the end, because we have no need for them at this point, because we have got a few totem poles. That's more than enough. We have enough graveyards to burial mounds to make sure that they are able to bury their dead and recover morale in that fashion. And we will soon transition to drinking beer, which will help to get our morale up much quicker. And beer is only drunk by adults in prehistory. So the same progressive laws that we have today are there also in the ancient age. That's nice. So children can't have beer, but they have totem poles. They have got those burial mounds to go and recover morale from. But beer is of course better because it is much faster. Although it is more resource intensive, because you are going to use 1 grain and 1 water to make that beer, which is crafting time, which you need to spend. Also 1 grain is going to give 1 beer, whereas 1 grain would have given 2 pieces of bread once it would have been fully processed. So since we're not doing that, it's a little bit of a loss. Therefore you gain by recovering morale quite quickly. The previous planting session was not good in my opinion. We didn't plant enough. So we now have here a roundhouse being constructed. Let's go in and have a look. That's a very beautiful roundhouse. I really like the scenes and the art form of this game quite a lot, because it is realistic. Those are actual human beings, not cartoons, and they are also very beautifully done and constructed, which shows a lot of detail in them. That it shows that they have beads in their hair, because our ancestors took very great care of their appearance. You would be judged as slovenly if you went out without a proper wash or a proper dress. So people actually did take a lot of care of their appearance. You went ahead and spent resources, you spent money to look good in public, and that was your public standing. So for example, what I often see in movies and serials and games also now is that here I'm deconstructing these tanneries because I don't have any tannin. So I have 76 raw skin, and if I have a lot of tanners up, then a lot of my workloads are going to get clogged up, because they won't be able to make the leather, and they'll keep trying to make the leather, but there is no tannin, so they won't be able to do it. So I deconstruct all of those extra 10 tanners which I had in between the storage area, and therefore conserve my workload. In the next stage, I'm going to make sure I have enough tannin, so that is in the spring. That's pretty far away. We are just in the fall session right now, so we need to make sure that we don't clog up our workloads. We have quite a lot of work to do. This is the Bronze Age. We have to be very, very careful. We can lose our whole colony in this if we don't manage it very well. So let's give order for more trees to be cut. Yeah, so as I was saying, that nowadays with the serials and movies and games, they often show that our ancients, our ancestors had mud on their face. Medieval peasants are perpetually with mud on their faces. Kings are there with mud on their faces. Nobody would do that. I mean, you are there alive, right? No matter how poor you are. If you're rich, you would bring somebody to do that for you. But even if you're extremely poor, everybody in their right minds have got access to a damp piece of cloth, and that's or water, and then you would go and wash your face and not appear. I mean, I really think that's very unfair to our ancestors. And what I worry is that, say, 50 years from now, then what you would have is our progeny. They would depict us as mud on our faces. I am not sitting here making this video with a bunch of mud speared on my face. I don't get up in the morning, find the first big puddle and then stick my face in it and then go and spend my entire day having mud on my face. Nobody in their right minds would do that. Even if you work in the field, nobody is going there and then just sticking their face into the mud and then being like, yep, this is me because this is the medieval age. I must have mud on my face. Nobody in their right minds does that. And I really hope they don't show people like us in the 2023 having mud on our faces. We sat inside our homes and saved the world during the coronavirus. So that's what we did. That's what our war was. We did not have mud in our faces, what I'm saying. Let's go and build 4 breweries. These 4 breweries are going to be next to each other, and there is a granary quite nearby, and there will be a well right in front of these granaries so that they can pick up the water from the well and they can pick up a grain from the granary, and then they can make the beer right next door in the brewery. And then there is a storage building right next to it, and then the beer, once it is crafted, can be then put into the storage department, which is right there. We shall have great beer makers like Krog Drunkenfist, who shall be coming to our colony to make great beer. We shall go in and we'll have a look. I made a mistake over here that things were 1 square apart, so let's go and do it again. And we are going to give in an order for a proper warehouse, 4 proper warehouses to be built. I have enough resources to build it, straw, sticks, stone and whatever, but I don't think they will be able to build all of this. And we have quite a lot of animals right now, so the animals are going to chew through our straw very quickly, and therefore often these buildings, although we have resources right now, they are not built in time. So winter season has now hit. So we have got the first armorer built. We are going to, of course, ring the bell. Never forget to do that. Ring the bell. We are constantly getting these notifications for low harvesting tools, but we are building up. We're building up our harvesting tools. Let's go in and look at the armorer being built. The armorer was introduced in the game through a patch quite later, and after that there was a few more developments, for example cheesemaker, and then they gave up on this game, which I think is a great mistake by the developers. But of course I respect them for this amazing game that they have built, And I can also respect that they want to go in and build something else rather than keep on being in the loop of developing this game to perpetuity, and then keep on listening to people on the internet telling them, hey, I want this, I want that, and then just be stuck in a loop, whereas they can go and build something else. This company is really fantastic because they have built 2 games, being just a 2-person company, and the great interns who made wool cloth and linen cloth, cost 5 units. Those 2 developers and their uncle's son, who's the unpaid intern, they have built 2 great games, which is a Planet Base and this one, which is, I think, much better than the record of many AAA studios that we know of. This is actually very, very nice. So here we are building this armorer, but we will have to let go and focus on this raid which is coming in, and this raid is coming in from this direction. This is one of the most dangerous directions. This is not the most dangerous direction. The most dangerous direction is the one diagonally opposite to it, because that area is often very difficult to reinforce because we are planting on the absolute opposite end. So here we will have a few people who are not going to make it. So I'm going to close the 2 gates on the either end. I'm going to keep these set of 2 gates open momentarily. Let's allow one of these guys get in. Yes. So we close the gates. Now let's go to Tarzor. He has got a nice bronze spear. Let's see. We also have a problem that at this point here we are downhill, so they are going to be uphill from us, so we are going to lose a few people. Our cattle are running around, but they are trying to protect themselves. As soon as they have raiders nearby, they run away, and that is also very nice because they can. So Tarzor dies. They can chase the animals, and therefore they split up. So as you can see, as soon as one person dies, another person comes and takes their place, and we have enough ranged weapons to be able to stop them. Our outgoing fire is really tremendous right now, and their lines are thinned out. They have taken, to another person dies. Anybody who stood at the position of Tarzor didn't make it, and now we have carried the day. 5 humans have been killed, which is okay. I would like that nobody got killed, but we have lost, I think, 1 or 2 people before this up till now in a fight, and we have got just 5 people killed in this. So we have under 10 people killed by raids, and that is how good this system is. We are able to hold back even if we were downhill from them. Trader has come in, so let's see what he has got in. I had a nice post. I read a nice post in the Reddit of this game, where they said that hey, I think this trader is a spy. That he's the only one who's coming in, and then he spies on our colony. He goes and tells these people, there is a gap over here. You should attack over there. He takes a cut from us through commission. He also takes a cut from the raiders. And often you would have the person notice that the raiders would come in along with the trader. So the trader would come in often just before or during a raid, and often they would synchronize their activity. So there is a conspiracy theory on the Reddit of this game, which says that hey, we think the traders are the ones who are selling us out. They are giving us a lot of things like food and technology and clothes, but yeah, these buggers are playing a double game, and it was quite entertaining to read. We are going to now increase our tannin collection, because last time we had even now you can see we have 92 dry skins, raw skin, and we have got no tannin to process them into leather. Therefore we had to even break down all of those tanners, which wasted resources and also time. So this time we are going to go around the colony, and we are going to get nice clumps of trees, say up to 2 people, and so that they are harvested in good order. And we are going to keep a limit of 100, because beyond that, having 100 leather at one point of time doesn't serve any purpose. It feels good to watch those precious pixels, but also important that we are able to survive. I won't put a harvesting area over here because I want to chop down the trees over there, so we're going to put it further back. And always remember to adjust your tannin harvesting areas once you have cut down the trees. So often you forget that you have cut down the trees and then there are no trees to harvest tannin from, then you can't build enough leather. Not enough leather means not enough sleds. That means you are going to suffer from poor morale, from having to pick up heavy loads, and then that starts a downward spiral. Our brewery is getting built. There we go. We built a brewery. It's a very beautiful building, and we have got 4 in a row, which is going to ensure that we very quickly build up all of our alcohol, so that we are able to recover morale much faster at the cost of grain. Another brewery is going up, so this is the 4th one. You want to build 3 breweries at least, so that you can get 2 knowledge points. So 1 knowledge point for the first brewery that you build, and then 2nd knowledge point for the 3rd brewery that you build. The way I have built the Ozymandian Kingdom, I have ensured that every building which can give you the knowledge points are built. So if you need to build 4 armor smiths for the 2nd knowledge point, there are 4 armor smiths. There are more than 4 armor smiths. So I have maintained that I make sure that I build the absolute optimal and the minimum amounts that I need. There we go. We can see how close things are. Somebody is now brewing. Let's go in. Brewery ASMR.
My lord.
I hoped you enjoyed that little brewery ASMR. I kept quiet, and then you could hear this gentle swirling of the beer, the breaking of the grains, and little splishy splashing of beautiful building of crafting of beer. I noticed that we built again a bunch of copper, so I'm not happy about that because yeah, these guys constantly do that. So I went in and checked all of my metal smiths and made sure that no copper tool is auto selected so that I don't build more of them. And I'm going to get rid of this copper because yeah, right now making any copper ingots is a waste of time and resources. Also, we are down quite a lot in terms of copper ore, and therefore we will have to build up our copper mines, because the more mines you have, the more you are able to get of that particular ore. So I'm going to build in a few more fields because I am not happy with the amount of straw and the amount of grain that we have. So we are going to build more, and of course we are going to build in such a fashion that the more contiguous numbers of squares are next to each other. I can't build any more 5x5s on this side of the river. It's all used up. So yeah, right now it will be less than perfect, but whatever it is, we'll have to live with it. We are now going to go out, and I hope this time we are able to go and get more harvesting done than the previous time. The previous harvesting was not good, in my opinion. It was quite suboptimal. But as soon as the season hit, we have already gone and started the planting. So I think this session will go very well. If you see that 25% of your your planting has not happened, and you have already spent 25% of that season, unless you have a preponderance of overabundance of plows, you are not going to do a good planting. So be mindful of that. We have full industrial level production of plowing going on. All of these 5 plows pulled by 5 cows for a 5x5. It gets done so quickly without loss of morale, without loss of time. It just is beautiful to look at. We are now going out there and we are able to very quickly cover a lot of ground, and that will ensure that we are going to get good harvests in the coming seasons. Another important thing which I'm very happy about is that the raids came, both the last 2 raids came in the winter season, which is the most ideal season for raids to come in, because they are going to not interfere with our planting season in the spring, nor are they going to interfere with the summer fruit harvesting, and lastly not with the very vital grain and straw harvesting. So if you are getting raids during the fall session, that is actually the worst, because you really want to bring in all of this straw, all of this grain, and then that will allow you to survive. If you are not able to bring up this grain that you require to maintain your colony, then you would have a lot of these buildings which are going to be almost broken up because they are not maintained, and then they are going to clog up your entire supply chain and your workload, and you are going to get into this death spiral. Let's buy leather armor also, which is going to complete all of the armors that we have for this age, for all of the techs for this age. And we are not going to build that many leather armor because I don't have much leather to speak of. If I do, then maybe I will. But let's go into the fruit harvesting, which is going to now happen. We are now going to increase our mining. So we have got a little bit of a heavy workload, but we saw that we got a very nice planting done. So that tells me that I don't have that much of backlog. As soon as the fruits are harvested, it's perfectly fine. We will be able to build these mines up. We are going to build 3 tin mines because I don't need that much tin. But more copper mines will be required because our copper is dropping really fast. We were at 100 copper and we are down to 20. And if you don't have enough of ore, you won't be able to also consequently make the metal ingots, whether it be copper or bronze or iron. This is a nice clump. A lot of copper ore and tin ore and iron is also nearby. You want to always mine the mines which are nearest to your colony because you want to reduce the walking distance. Of course, once those get used up, you're going to go further and further, but you're also going to supplement your ore income through the trader, and you'll never reach a stage where all of the entire map's ore is used up. That's not going to happen with deep iron mines. In the late game, I don't think that's realistic. You will be very bored of the game before that is going to happen. That is not viable. Let's just put it that way. Because beyond the Steel Age, there is really not that much to be done. We are not going to be able to get additional any more migrants, because then you equilibrate. So the number of people who die are going to be the number of people getting born or coming as migrants. So you can't build your population beyond 300. All of the religious buildings are going to be built, and then you want to just start over basically. The Ozymandian Kingdom is then permanent, and it is going to last forever. Our first stone warehouse is getting built up, a very beautiful building again, and let's watch it getting built. There it is. Our first warehouse is complete. Warehouses have got 2 entrances, and they are in an L shape, so you can make a very nice pinwheel out of them, putting 4 of them. always make sure that you check when you're making these warehouses that no animal or human or sleds get trapped in the middle one square, because that does happen. They get trapped and then they can die. If they're trapped, you can click them anywhere, they can leave. If that's a human being, they can leave. But if there are certain items or animals which are stuck in the middle, then there is nothing to be done about it unless you deconstruct one of those warehouses. That's what we did in one of those episodes. We had a goat which was stuck inside this warehouse pinwheel, and then we went ahead and saved that goat by deconstructing that entire pinwheel of warehouses, and that goat was able to live, because as it says, he who saves one goat saves the world entire, and that's what we went ahead and did. We have 300 meat, close to 300 meat, so that is fantastic. We have 200 odd fruit, so we had 80 harvest of fruit in the first time when we went ahead and harvested fruit, so we have more than doubled our fruit income. I'm going to put in orders for only chainmail of iron, not even the big oval shields, because they take a lot of resources to make, especially wood, which is something I don't want to use up very quickly in the Iron Age, because we are going to get into trouble because we'll require a lot of wood. So only the chainmail. I'm not going to put in orders for leather because, yeah, I don't have enough leather to get it done. And then warehouses, the workloads are just going to be clogged up. We have 62 goats, which means 12 of those goats are going to be slaughtered, because the limit that I have put down for goats is 50. Goats and pigs are set to 50, and they are going to then go and butcher them, which is going to give us enough raw skins to convert into leather. We have enough tannin. We are also going to buy some from the trader. We are going to get rid of all of these copper tools, because I don't want copper tools anymore, and I want to make sure that we transition fully into the bronze tools as soon as possible. We got the fruit harvest done, so I'm going to send out orders for capturing aurochs and hunting down that auroch horde, and we're going to capture baby horses. I don't hunt horses because they are quite far away. They're quite fast, and then if they're farther away, then they can take your people on a wild goose chase or a wild horse chase, and then you are left chasing them across the entire map for what? For a little bit of meat. I mean, look at the amount of meat we have. We really don't want them. We don't need to hunt the horses. If we capture those baby horses, that's more than enough for us to make sure we wait till they become adults. And these adult horses are going to linger on the map for a few turns, for a few years, and then they're going to just vanish. So you don't have to hunt them down. It's profitable to hunt down aurochs because of the amount of meat that they give. Especially early game, we don't need it. We don't need any hunting at this stage. Early game, then they are, of course, you really want to make sure that you get rid of this entire horde of aurochs, and therefore you are able to get a full, fresh herd of aurochs spawn somewhere in the map. Harvesting season is here. We are also, we gave the orders for collecting those animals, but let's look how the harvesting goes. We are close to 150% workload, which is not ideal. So it is falling because they are, as soon as they get one harvest done, that is already good. We can see on the right hand side of the screen, some of our buildings require maintenance, so they probably require straw, and they are finally getting straw at the beginning of this harvesting, and then they are going and repairing and maintaining those houses, all of which is contributing to this large amount of workload that we have. Stray barley, I'm going to go ahead and capture, also order them to cut them down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of my crops on high priority, because this is more or less the crops that I want to have till the end game. I have a good mixture of them, And we have gone ahead and we have planted all the way all the spaces in this side of the river, and this is the final bunch. And I want to do that increase priority only once, and I don't want to bring do it repeatedly. So we do it once and we do it finally. So here I'm going to cancel these 2 warehouses to be built, because yeah, I have enough warehouses. I don't gain much by building them, and I want to make sure that I actually get the harvest done. So building things take quite a lot of time, and it also takes 3-4 people to build, and those 3 people should be out there harvesting. In the previous episodes, you noticed how close we were to a 1-to-1 food ratio, which is non-ideal, and we also ran out of straw. Therefore, we had to start feeding grain to our animals. We have quite a host of animals right now, 50 heads of goats and pigs, and increasing number of cows, which eat double the amount of food that goats eat. Goats for the win. So we actually require quite a lot of straw and quite a lot of harvesting to happen. Korvek is carrying somebody who has passed away, and he's going through the fields. This beautiful scene, and it reminds me of a gladiator walking to his home with his hands over this field of modern day wheat. There's a very nice video which shows all the mistakes in that particular movie, in that particular scene, because it shows wheat as we know it now. Wheat in the Roman times was not as big as the wheat crops that we have today. Farther smaller, they were essentially glorified grass. And then you could also see in the distance tractor marks left in the video, where Russell Crowe is walking back to his house, all the way from Germania to Hispania, with a gaping wound in his stomach. Gladiator. And their opening scene was nice, where they had cavalry charges in a full forest, using large onagers against these bunch of Germanic tribes. And they didn't show that the Germanic tribes during the Marcomannic Wars, which it was, were very, very capable units. They were not the Germanic troops that they were going up against during the time of Caesar, when the Roman Empire was completely unbeatable. This was a very, very competent army, and the Marcomannic War under Aurelius. Then it was with Marcus Aurelius and his son King Commodus, who went on to be really a terrible emperor. That was very well shown in Gladiator. It's a nice movie, but it was too long. And then they were like Marcus Aurelius, this guy who's an autocrat, who's born into the throne. He goes and says that I want this to be a republican system. I want democracy, blah, blah, blah. I mean, Aurelius only cared about his own son and him dying while being on the throne with the Praetorian Guard not murdering him in his sleep. That's all he cared about. Nice guy, but yeah, he didn't have democratic ideals. There's modern day things. There was this really nice documentary on the BBC about Hannibal, where they were like, yeah, we are fighting for freedom. I mean, Carthage was a slave-owning society. They were as notorious as any empire at that time, which were all slave owners. Let's just put it that way. They depended on slaves and mercenaries. They were not for freedom. These are American ideals, modern day ideals. It was just an American screenwriter writing that screenplay that I'm going to fight for freedom. I'm going to fight for nonsense. They were just trying. They were ancient people who basically didn't understand that a human being has got value other than intrinsic value that you put on his head on the slave market. It's shameful. But it's part of our history. Let's not whitewash that. Let's accept that and ensure that it never, ever, ever happens in any form, and we can move forward and become better. We ran out of fuel while I was talking. So I'm going to give in again an order of a large number of trees to be cut, and I'm going to make this automatic because I'm done with making it manual. I'm going to put down 3-5 people area with a limit of 100 wood to be chopped, and that will conclude this particular episode. We have got the winter season. We went through some very nice raids which we were able to dominate. We lost 5 people in one raid, and we also unentangled our workloads just a bit. We are now going to go towards higher production rates, and we have another raider attack coming in. This is again a sector which is very weak, but luckily this is during the winter and we can pull our people back. Let's watch this raid for the next episode. Thank you for watching, and I hope to catch you back for the next one. This has been the Strategic Indian signing out.